Goggles. I'm Torin. Cheers to gear. So as you can see today, I have a number of items on the counter, and I'm really excited about it all. This has been a project that's been months in the making, and not surprising, and I'll explain once we get into it. But I'm excited to finally have everything here ready to go and ready to start completing this project. So I've been in the process of gathering components for a custom rifle build. The story sort of started with a want and a need to build a lightweight mountain rifle. And the journey started with looking at some of the discontinued Remington 700 titaniums. I did find one, and I was going to make the purchase, but as I started diving deeper into it, I realized that probably the only component of that factory rifle that I was going to keep was the titanium action itself. And so the price of that gun did not justify spending that amount on a factory Remington 700 titanium action. So that sort of led me down the custom build path. I decided to go with a custom titanium action or an aftermarket titanium action based on the Remington 700 footprint. And from there it sort of spiraled into this big custom rifle build. As you may or may not be aware, lead times right now on anything gun related are pretty insane, and even things that aren't gun related really. But fortunately I was able to get all of these components in just a few short months, and everything is ready. And it's going to be shipped off here to the gunsmith shortly to be finished. The barrel is going to be threaded, and then everything assembled and ready to shoot in time for fall season. So I'm really excited about that. What I wanted to do before I send it off to the gunsmith, though, is to go over each component individually, separately, before it becomes a finished product of a finished rifle. And so what I'm going to go do is through piece by piece and do sort of a first impressions review, fit, function, weight, why I chose this particular component for this build. And then once it's all together and I have the rifle back, I will follow up with sort of a whole rifle review that highlights the entire build, and then the sighting in process, range time, and then I'll go through back with all the components after the fact to sort of give a follow-up review on my opinions of them all after I've had some actual shooting experience with them as all a part of the rifle. I want to discuss the barrel that I'm going to use for this rifle build project. I went back and forth on what I was going to use, whether I wanted carbon or carbon wrapped, or whether I wanted an all steel barrel. I ended up going with an all steel contoured blank from Excalibur. I was really impressed with Excalibur's offerings. Their turnaround time was great, and they have a lot of variety there. So I ended up going with the barrel itself. Right now is 23 inches. I think the finish length will end up around 22. This is their number 3 contour, so it's a standard sporter contour. They go all the way down to a number 1 featherweight, and then they have like 30 available contours you can choose from. So everything that you could possibly look for. They also have a couple fluting options. I went with I believe just a 6 straight flute, and they do a nice flute. It's not overly aggressive, but not shallow either. Looks nice, sheds some weight, hopefully helps with cooling a little bit as well. This will have to be threaded by my gunsmith, so he'll thread and chamber it. And then I'll also have the muzzle threaded to accept the muzzle brake that I'm putting on. You can get pre-fit barrels from Excalibur for a variety of actions. You can also get pre-fit carbon wrap barrels. You can get unturned blanks, and then you can also get carbon blanks as well. So a lot of options there. You also have a lot of finishing options on these, so they're available in stainless or chromoly. I ended up going with a stainless barrel. And then finish-wise, you can get it matte finish, which is what I did. I think it's enough charge of like 15 bucks to get a matte finish. I was considering running it just the stainless finish on my rifle. I still may have it Cerakoted, I'm not entirely sure. Or you can get just the way that it would normally come with no upcharge, which is a polished finish. So this barrel is a 7mm a barrel for my 280 Ackley that I'm going to be turning this into. Again, my gunsmith will thread and chamber it. Two things: it doesn't come crowned. The contoured blanks don't come crowned, so that's up to your gunsmith to do as well, or for you to do at home if you have that capability. So keep that in mind too. If you go with a pre-fit, you can select the crown on that. I went with a faster twist rate, so they have a number of twist rates you can choose from and grooves. I wanted a faster twist rate for some of the bigger bullets that I'm planning to use with the 280 Ackley. So I went with a 1 and 8 twist and a 5R groove. You know, I forget the exact grooves they have, the 5, 6, 7, 8, you know, a whole variety there. I went with a 5, just a few lesser grooves. Gunsmith didn't think it made a whole lot of difference, and he thought that 5 would just be a little bit easier to keep clean. So that's what we did. Turnaround time. So custom barrel makers are pretty far back, some farther back than others. Excalibur on their website lists 8 to 10 weeks of a backlog. I got mine in less than half that time, and that's been the case with another barrel that I got from them as well. So keep that in mind when you're ordering, that you could potentially be waiting that amount of time, but in my experience, you will not wait that amount of time. So I was happy to see these come pretty quickly. The only thing that was a little bit off from the website was the final weight. This barrel, 23 inches, stainless steel, again 6 flute, unchambered, unthreaded, weighed in at just under 3 pounds, like 45.5 ounces. So what's that? 2 pounds 13 ounces, 2 pounds 14 ounces, something like that. Which is a little bit heavier than estimated from Excalibur. You know, I know that's not an exact science, and all the selections that you make determine that, as well as the finished weight will be different once it's threaded and chambered. But they bore scope them all before they send them out. The threads in this one look really good. Everything looks really clean in there. And from everything that I've read, and they have, you know, a reputation for nice accuracy and a really nice price as well. So I'm looking forward to getting it mounted up and running some shots through it. Weight overall was a concern with this build of mine. I wanted to keep things relatively lightweight. And so I bounced back and forth on what contour I wanted, and I had thought about going with a featherweight contour, but I plan to spend a lot of time at the range with this rifle, and so I didn't want to have to wait for the barrel to cool down after just a couple shots every time with a featherweight barrel. So I decided to go up to a sporter. I think that's going to be a happy medium, keeping things relatively cool and allowing me to shoot a little bit more, but also keeping weight down. Again, it's a stainless steel barrel from Excalibur Manufacturing, great quality craftsmanship, and excited to put some rounds through it. Yeah. Until next time, cheers to you.